Stan, do you mind kicking us off? You mind doing an invocation?
Meeting adjourned? No, just kidding. Please join me in invocation, and then we'll do the pledge. Great Architect of the universe, thank you so very much for the many blessings you've given us. We ask your continued watchful eye over those that are battling with medical issues, loss of family members, and we ask that you stay with them as long as they need. We thank you for the guidance that you've given the staff, the board, and the blessings for the residents. We continue to ask for your continued watchful eye over the first responders and bless them and keep them safe. And thank you for watching over our military that gives us such a nice life here, a safe life. We ask all these things in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you, Stan.
You blocked the flag.
All right. I thought I didn't know what he was doing there. How are we doing today?
Great.
All right. This weather stinks.
No. Water's the flowers.
It's been watering the flowers for days.
Gotta plant them first.
It's supposed to get nice this weekend, so I'm excited about that. I don't really have a whole lot to talk about. I do have a brief update on the Iredell project, and that is we're no further ahead than we were before. And it's for a very good reason, and that's because the utilities go through Iredell. And the more we're learning about how they go through Iredell, the harder it is actually to knock the building down without putting something right back up. So we're trying to find the best way to get all that accomplished without just throwing good money after bad. So right now, Iredell's protecting it all, and if I take it down, I have to build something in its place. So it'd be better to build something that we're going to keep, not build something that gets knocked down if we end up doing something over there. So Iredell at this point is not moving forward, but we are moving forward with the pole barn over at by the engineering building. So right now the concept is the road that has all those, I don't know if they're pine trees or just, you know, the big tall pines along the fence line there. We're going to take those out, make that all concrete, and then put a pole barn there. That's where transportation and grounds will go. We're going to knock down this ugly building behind us, turn this into green space over here, and then move transportation and grounds over there, and then pretty all that up around the engineering building so everything's in, out of the weather, because a lot of our equipment still sits outside, and get all that done. That project's underway.
The buses will be able to go.
The buses will be inside. That's a big one.
Yeah, the drivers can't wait for that.
All right.
They know what
So there's another project on here, and I hate even talking about it because this is the last time I talked about it, it jumped up and bit me. But we are also looking at an elevator in Scottish Rite. Not in the elevator shaft that's already there. Because the elevator shaft that's already there is a custom-built elevator, which is what made it so darn expensive that you don't have two now. So we are looking at an external elevator being built on the outside of the building to go from the lower level all the way up to the 4th floor, and it'll move the entrance that comes off that parking lot over. So, since we're talking about the parking lot, we'll talk about the other thing that we are noodling and in design work. So first, up in front of Scottish Rite in the circle driveway, we're going to add parking up there. So we're going to probably take out that center island and put parking there, so you can come in from both sides. And then along the kind of clinic Bancroft side, we're going to take and add more parking up there. So that's the first step. And that step has to happen first because we are also right now redesigning and looking at covered parking for Scottish Rite along that back side. May even potentially be some actual enclosed garages. So when I say enclosed garages, it'll be a lot like my last campus. One big garage with a bunch of garage doors that you can walk in and get out. So not individual spaces, but one big covered parking area with garages. So these are on the plans. We are actively doing drawings and actively getting estimates. And then from there, we'll determine what we can and can't do moving forward. Absolutely, the pole barn and knocking down the transportation garage, that has to happen. That's going through. The elevator in Scottish Rite, we have an idea of what we think it's going to cost because we actually did just do this up at Browning. Browning only had one elevator for the whole campus, and they added one on the outside. And they added that whole thing cheaper than what our car cost was for going into Scottish Rite there. So it seems like overkill when you think, my God, you already have the shaft, you already have parts of it down there, and then I tell you it's such a special size that they have to custom make it. It made it so ridiculously expensive, that's why we didn't do it. Because it's insane how expensive it was. So those are the things that we have kind of on the block right now as far as what we're looking to do to the campus to kind of make some things better. So there is some strategic planning and some master planning involved in all this, but it all starts with kind of getting some of the things fixed on the campus. Now, a lot of people are going to ask about roads. I'm going to tell you, we're not going to do any roads yet, and there's a reason. Because if we end up with a large construction project on this campus, those roads are just going to get torn apart. So right now, roads will be, not now, it's going to be something we look at, although I did just do some rounds last week, and I think Grounds and I are going to do a drive-through next week to look at some areas that still need some touch-up potholes. There's a pothole I noticed that I didn't notice like 2 weeks ago, so we're going to go around and maybe take a look at some of those things. But we will not be resurfacing or anything like that, simply because should a large project happen, they're going to get destroyed. Because whenever you start tearing buildings down, which we know we're going to do, it's going to be big equipment, it's going to be things like that, and that takes a toll on private roads, because they're not built like roads, they're built like driveways, basically. So we got to be careful with what we do there. So that's really about all that from the project standpoint. I'm happy to announce we're actively working on a partnership with Clark State University to bring an STNA training class to the campus. So I'm really excited about that because I think it's potentially a gateway to maybe get some other Clark State offerings here on the campus. So we've had a couple meetings about it, and it's looking very positively. And I think that's a great connection to make out in the community, and really, Clark State's a good, strong name brand, has lots of recognition in the area, and obviously so does Springfield Masonic. So putting that program together, I'm actually really excited for it.
What is SDNA?
State Tested Nurses Assistant. So hardest job in the world to fill. Probably one of the hardest jobs to do, because it's nurses get all the glory, but the aides do the grunt work. That's that's what it comes down to. They get all the bad stuff that you got to do. So we're excited about that project as well. Really, that's it I have from a project standpoint. I do want to also, I did talk to Brooke this morning. I know if anybody goes to Bancroft normally to see the corporate team is going to be working from home for the next few weeks because we're doing some work in that building. It's just going to make it so they're not going to be able to be effective in there. So as we do some things in Bancroft, they're not going to be over there. So if you need anything, just call the operator and then they'll forward on. So we don't know how long exactly the time frame is going to be, but for right now, there's not going to be anybody in Bancroft to go see at this point. So if you usually go up there for billing and whatnot, just call the operator and they'll transfer you over to what their extensions are. All right, well, we had the solar eclipse on Monday. I'm so happy that's over. That was an interesting day. One thing, though, that I do want to make sure we talk about is that event was just it was just an event. The events committee is a group of volunteers that comes together to help put on things to make the lifestyle here at SMC active and entertaining and give options and opportunity. And they do that, again, volunteers, because I don't pay them, and I don't know if Dave pays them, but they all do it through volunteers. And volunteers are, a wonderful, wonderful way to become involved in the campus, and a wonderful way to socialize and be a part of something. B, they're also hard to come by, right? Because not a lot of people want to give up their free time and things like that to go do. And C, a lot of times it's a thankless job. So at Monday's event, I'm going to be brutally honest and tell you, it was pretty thankless at that event. There was a lot of negativity about that event at the event. Not only towards the volunteers, but also towards some of the staff members. And it wasn't, it was not great. I actually had one staff member in tears about how some of the, and be honest, the way the residents were talking and treating them. So please understand that when we have these events, I know it's, sometimes it can be stressful and sometimes there's a lot of things going on, but again, these are all done by the volunteers, and the volunteers work very hard. I don't know how many hot dogs we ended up grilling, but those were all grilled by residents and all wrapped by volunteers and all those things. And people put a lot of time and effort into that, and sometimes things don't always go smooth, and sometimes there's little hiccups, and there's slight delays, and we just have to kind of roll with the punches and understand that this is all being done again by peers, by volunteers, and by fellow residents, and they're doing it out of the kindness of the heart so that everybody can have a good time and we have good events at the campus. And I know I greatly appreciate it because I don't have staff to pull off events like that most of the time. So just remember, just be kind, and the golden rule: treat others how you want to be treated, or however you look at it. I heard there's the golden rule: do unto others as you do unto you, or something like that. And then I heard there's the platinum rule, which is treat others how you want to be treated. But all of it is just be a good neighbor, be a good friend, and come have fun. And if things are a little off and a little behind or something like that, I mean, it happens, right? It's still going to be better than doing nothing. So, but just be respectful to people, staff members, and your peers and volunteers. So,
yeah, it's like at the event when you see us rationing off items like hot dogs or something, we're only giving one per person. That's because we didn't know how many was coming. We had over 200 people there Monday.
it was crazy.
I only had 200 hot dogs. And I had people coming up wanting 3 and 4, and we couldn't do it, and so they gave my volunteers a little bit of grief, and they didn't appreciate it. Okay, so next time I told them, come get me. And I'm not going to be that nice. Okay?
Yeah, you go. You got it.
All right, going right into that. Balcony, or not balconies. We got the balconies in Scottish Rite, and we're going to have elevators. So are we taking those balconies down on?
Yes.
I just wanted to get a response from 2 of them right there.
So
That's exactly what I wanted right there.
Actually, I can speak to where we're talking about. Right now, if you come in from that, was that south parking lot? If you come in from the south parking lot, there's the glass door that you walk in. It would actually be right there. And then what we would have to do is, if you're in the building walking down the hall, to get out, you kind of walk over here and go out. That's where the elevator would be. We're going to put in a double entrance just straight at the end of that hall. So you'd be able to go out and then walk around, but the elevator would be outside the building and go up. And it's going to be a full-size elevator. Balconies will be okay. It'll be a full-size elevator, and it'll be easier to move in because as we redo the parking over there, we're actually putting a pull-up lane so that a moving truck, a pickup truck, or something like that can actually pull up to the door, go in, get in the elevator, and go up.
So
in other words, it's going to be designed how it should have been designed the first
You're
time.
right. You're not going to sleep.
Yeah, you're going to be
You're going to be awake.
you're going to be so close to that elevator that you won't have to walk
Turn my
far.
music up loud and let it roll. Fine.
Yes.
Not a problem.
Yes.
Dave?
Is it going to be the elevator going to be near the Circle Drive?
No.
No, it's going to be on the west end where the residents
West
park.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, the parking lot. I've got just a few things. First, I did a March Madness bracket. Who had a team in that? That's here. We had a few.
He's
Okay.
got 5 arms up.
had 2 teams.
Tony won a lot of the money, and it was hard to give it to him. him and Brian. But I still have a couple more people to pay. I don't see them here right now. So I'm looking around, and I see one new resident in here. I'm going to single you out, Larry. If you want to stand real quick, just wave. You don't have to say anything. This is Larry Powers. He lives down in 12D. Just moved in with his wife, Louise, but she chickened out. She probably knew I was going to single him out. So if you get time, greet Larry back there. But the March Madness thing went great. That was something I wanted to do for a few years, and finally I just did it. Those guys won all the money, but that's okay. Someone's got to win. What we got coming up? I've got Hat Day, Kentucky Derby Hat Day. That date is going to still to be announced. I've got an events committee right after this meeting, and we're going to decide that. So we're going to have Hat Day coming up, but Kentucky Derby is Saturday, May 4th. So we'll be doing our Kentucky Derby party. It'll be at the clubhouse. From off the top of my head, I think it starts around 5 o'clock. So the flyers will be coming out. We'll get more information on K4. So just mark that on your calendar. May 4th, Saturday, is Kentucky Derby Day. Also, I had a meeting about having a campus-wide garage sale. Had that meeting yesterday, and we have come up with a date. So the garage sale is going to be on Friday and Saturday, July 12th and 13th. You guys got a couple months to get your stuff ready. It's going to be from 9 to 3. I had 19 Villa residents sign up. Okay, it's still not too late if you still want to participate, just let me know. If you're going to need tables for it, just let me know how many you're going to need. I do have a list. We will be able to supply a couple tables to you if you need them. Okay, and we'll probably collect them or deliver them that week, collect them probably on Monday. So we also had a few Scottish Rite people, apartment people wanting to participate. If the garage barn is still standing, that's where you guys will be. If not, we'll have to come up with something else. So we'll just take it as it comes. So, but that's going to be on July 12th and 13th. So mark that on your calendars. It will be open to the outside public. Okay. The planters. I had the question asked about the planters out in front of the villas. We are doing those again. So if you're interested, I will have a $25 gift card for Lowe's for you to do the planter. Just get with me and let me know that you're interested in doing the planter outside of your villa. I don't have the cards yet, but just give me your name if you're going to participate in that. Another thing, I hired a transportation driver. So Penny's been replaced. He will not be starting until May 6th. He had to give his 2-week notice at where he's employed at right now, but May 6th we should have a third driver, so be patient with my drivers. You probably already saw that I had to move the Meyer trip from yesterday to today. There's probably more of that coming because I'm the backup. And there's days I just can't help, so what else we got here? I think that's about all I have. Tony covered all that, and Tony disappeared on me. Does anybody have anything they want to talk about or discuss? Yeah, Susan?
Are you going to do an NBA bracket?
No.
Yes.
I've never done one of those. I don't even know how their playoffs work. I mean, they got a play-in game now or something, a play-in tournament. I don't know how all that works. You come up with a plan, and I'll do what I can. Okay. Yeah.
2 questions from other residents who have contacted me. One is, could we please get pictures and faces of the staff on K4?
My face is on there.
Yeah, but how about all the rest?
That's hard to do.
On K4, staff on K4
Faces.
pictures, faces.
No.
I thought he was doing it. Yeah,
We
okay,
don't
we'll,
have-
we'll get Scotty on that.
Number two, how often are the villas, at least, checked for radon? Because something's going on about, I didn't see the program, this person did. Ohio State is going, or Ohio, the state of, is checking for radon in older buildings. So this will rouse this person's curiosity. And I've been asked to ask, how often are the villas checked for radon?
Never.
Okay, so when will they be?
I have no plan on checking for radon.
Okay. They'll see that on K4 and then they can work.
It's all over TV every time.
It's, yeah. State of Ohio, I don't know. We
didn't
have
hear
a
it.
room in Maryland.
I didn't hear
I
it
didn't
either.
hear it.
I didn't either, this person.
Any pineapples this month?
Any what?
Pineapples this month?
I've got a couple, they're last.
Oh,
I don't know if they're here or not.
Could we check into the radon?
Yeah, somebody's here.
I'll have maintenance look at it. So radon testing, you have to pay for it. It's not something you go to Home Depot and buy. And then they come out and they test for radon. I don't know if they check, normally it's in basements that they look for
Yes.
it. So yeah, no, it's not ever been anything that's ever been brought up, or it's not like on an EPA
Okay.
watch list or anything like that. but-
Okay.
It's usually older buildings.
Right, but some
Well,
of these,
you know,
they were saying, some of these up on the hill might be, I don't know.
So I live in a
Ours
development that is building houses all the time, and sometimes they build a new home and they check for radon and it's through the roof. I mean, radon is just a gas that comes up from
Up through- right,
under the
yeah.
ground, and then, you know, they remedy it by putting a pipe in the ground and they run it out the
Yeah.
roof. It all does is vent it. So it can happen anywhere. That's why I said we've never tested for them. I don't even know if there's signs or symptoms of radon. It's just like I said, in my development, some people get them when they buy the home or build the home. They pay for them to come in, and then I think they said like 7% of the tests have actually come back positive in my development, which is like 2,200 homes.
Yeah.
So
We just had to they just put a canister, when we sold our house, they just had to put a canister in there for a few days. And then the inspector said, you're great.
yeah, it's just
That's all it is.
when I sold my last house, the people buying it had it done, and they just came and set something in my
Yes.
basement, and then they
Yes.
walked away, and then
Yeah.
it was 2 or 3 days later, they came back in, but you
Right.
have to pay for that
Yeah,
test.
the buyer,
So,
yeah, okay.
We got one more thing. We got the Masonic Museum. We'll be open for viewing on Saturday, April 20th, from 1 to 4. Saturday, that's from 1 to 4. I know it's Honor Flight. It's the same as Honor Flight, but it's from 1 to 4. What time are you going for the Honor Flight?
All day.
3:30.
They don't get there till
3.
9 o'clock
Well,
at
they're
night.
going at 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
We're not going till like 5 something.
Okay, you'll be good. It's at 1 o'clock. There'll be other dates that the museum will be open, but right now, this is the first date that they're going to have it open, correct, Tom? So Saturday, April 20th, 1 o'clock. There's going to be an opening, a viewing for the Masonic Museum. If you don't know where it's at, it's over by the auditorium. If you get to the auditorium, just keep walking. You'll run right into it.
Into the hall.
Okay.
And get there before they start tearing down all the roads and building stuff. We won't.
What's the status of the parking pads for the golf carts?
Oh, parking pads. I actually do know this. We have 6, I think we have a list of 6 names right now, and I think they were checking on a couple. We just had the concrete company out a couple weeks ago, or it might have even been last week, because we have some concrete work that we need done, so we're trying to get them both scheduled. So do you guys remember the old guard shack looked like a shed? Because it was a shed. We're going to refinish that and put that over by the clubhouse, so we're going to have a sidewalk poured. because we don't have any like actual storage at the clubhouse for like events. So we're going to reside that, paint it so it matches the clubhouse, and put it over in the corner of the parking lot area there, and have that sidewalk poured. And so when we do that, they're going to do those pads as well. Because concrete's so expensive right now, if you don't get a whole truck worth of concrete, it makes every individual one more expensive because the delivery fees are so high. So we're trying to come up with enough things to make it a whole truckload or 2 whole truckloads. So I don't have a date, but I think, was it only 6? I think we had 6 pads.
I've got 7 golf carts on my list.
Okay, so it's 7. But I know they're trying to get it scheduled right now.
And if they have extra in the truck, just have them dump them in the potholes.
Well, we can do that. Oh, okay. You sure?
I just looked it up.
All right. Well, Chrissy says you can get free radon tests from Clark County Health, so I have to be friends with them so I can find out.
All right.
Makes sense.
If you do not want your Eclipse glasses, the United Senior Service has a recycle program. We're collecting them, and you can put them on my chair over at the table or drop them off downtown. April the 29th is the deadline.
So if you didn't hear that, she said if you want to repurpose your solar eclipse glasses, United Senior Services has a recycling program, and they just need, you can either put them at her desk or take them downtown to USS by April 29th. Is that what you said, 29th?
I have a question. When here's a function, like at the clubhouse serving food, are residents allowed to bring their pets? Because I didn't think animals, unless it's a service animal, pets were not allowed where food is being served.
No, we should be limited to service animals only.
Okay, so.
Yeah, we should have escorted that one out, now that I think about it.
Can we see a pet with a resident? Do we tell one of you?
Yeah, probably. It would have been fine if we would have turned the light on in my head there, but it didn't. So.
All right. Well, Dave's got a couple of pineapples to hand out, and they both happen to be here. So the first one, front and center, Mr. Bruce Gardner. Oh, there he is. And the other one, Mr. Bob Fenton.
Can you explain pineapples?
My job is
Oh, sure. So the pineapple, we started that a long time ago, right before, actually it was right before COVID. So the pineapple is the international symbol of hospitality. So, you know, for a while, again, pre-COVID, we tried to come up with themes to focus on to help build the community and help build our relationships with one another and build our lifestyle and everything here at SMC. And one of the years was hospitality. Because one of the things that we were noticing is how long it was taking new residents to acclimate and become part of the activities and the lifestyle and everything that happens on the campus. So it was a way to try to encourage people to, you know, you see a new neighbor, go be a good neighbor, go talk to them, help show them the ropes. It's a big place, right? I think I worked here for 6 months before I found out there really wasn't a pool. But there's all kinds of fun things to do here, and you have to kind of sometimes know somebody to know about them. So the Pineapple program was designed that we would recognize people who go above and beyond helping welcome new residents to the campus, show them around, and things like that. So it's a peer-to-peer recognition, so you have to be recognized by somebody to win the Pineapple, but everyone we've handed out so far has always gone to somebody deserving who makes sure that they take somebody under their wing, or at least you know, when they interact with them or see new residents, that they help them along. All right. Well, I really don't have anything else. I'm just trying to survive this weather because spring can't come quick enough.
It is.
I know it, but it don't feel like spring. It doesn't feel like spring. Well, Mr. Stan, do you have anything you want to say to the group?
Actually, I was thinking about it when Tony and Dave were making their comments. I would remind everybody this is a Masonic facility, and the Masonry organization, Masonic organization, has guidelines on how we treat each other and such. So I would just make mention that, to piggyback on their comments, please remember, be nice to your neighbor. I always think it's like the book that said everything I needed to learn, I learned in kindergarten. And that's exactly true. So I would say keep that in mind and enjoy your neighbors.
That's it. You want to adjourn us with our benediction?
While I'm standing? Yeah. Please join me. Great Architect of the Universe, we again come to you with much thanks for all that you've given. We ask your continued blessings and your continued guidance for all of us as we live our lives each day. Thank you for the many blessings you've given, and at last save us through Christ. Amen.
Thank you, everybody. Enjoy your weekend.